Ready? Hey guys, so we've been looking at some of the comments that have been dropped in the group here and kind of paying attention to what's going on with people's accounts, not only here in the group and what people are talking about, but also when we've had our phone conversations with you guys. And a couple of things that have come up that we'd love to address in this specific video is excluding audiences and the importance of excluding audiences at the right times in the right places of the funnel, obviously, but then how to look at exclusions and how they work when you're running, multiple products, or you're running the same pixel on multiple different domains, and how you can separate your audiences and keep clean audiences for different things, whether that be different websites or products, all within the same pixel. So I know a couple of people had posted in the group about having a lot of products and how to, manage the exclusions with that. And then a couple other people had posted in the group about exclusions in general and kind of how to get there. So that's kind of what we wanted to cover today in this video. So we'll just jump right in there. Cool. So basically, obviously, if you've read the guide, we talk about the top, middle, and bottom of funnel. The top of funnel excludes, Instagram engagement, Facebook engagement. It excludes add to carts, initiate checkouts, purchases, web visitors, right? And the idea there is so that top of funnel goes out into new territory and continues to find new cold audiences. And anyone that engages with that or goes to the website or adds to cart or all that stuff, it gets pushed down to the mid and the bottom of the funnel. So this way we preserve that top of funnel going out into that new territory. But when you have multiple products, the mid funnel can get and the bottom funnel can get kind of complex. And one of the questions raised in the group about the mid funnel was this guy had an e-com store with multiple products, and he had multiple top of funnel campaigns going. And the question was, do I create a top, middle, and bottom of funnel for each product, or how do I manage that process, or do I create a top of funnel and then put all of my products in the mid and the bottom of funnel? And so there's really a couple ways to look at this, but this kind of opens up good conversation for just kind of understanding how things work. So number one, if you want to create a top, middle, and bottom of funnel for each product, what you're going to have to do is get really accurate with your exclusions. So your top of funnel is going to go out into new territory, for example, for one product, and go out into new territory and get that cold audience. But then to create a mid funnel, for example, that's going to retarget that specific top of funnel, you're going to have to exclude the URLs and the actions that took place on, the other top of funnel campaigns that you have, right? So you have to exclude all the other products and those URLs and those actions in order to create that clean mid funnel for that one product. And then you'd have to do the same for the bottom of funnel. And what's going to end up happening is if you have, let's say, 10 products that you're running top of funnel on and you're trying to segment them out, then you're going to be creating a ridiculous amount of audience exclusions for each product in the middle and bottom of funnel. And that's going to get a bit complicated. Not to say that you shouldn't do it or it can't be done. You can definitely do it if you want to get super into this and really track everything down, get it down to a science for each product. That is something that you can do and that we've done before, and it works great. However, to alleviate some stress and also make things a little bit easier for you, you can just put, if you have 10 top of funnel campaigns going out, each top of funnel campaigns for a different product, you can just put all of the products in the mid funnel and break those out into kind of different campaigns within the mid funnel, and then just track which products in the mid funnel perform the best, and sort of optimize towards the products in the mid funnel that perform the best. But Cole had some good insight on this too that I wanted him to share as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no like one right answer for this, and it's really going to kind of depend on your business and your products. But one thing I would say is, you know, in terms of your product ecosystem and sort of how different of an audience that you're looking for different products, um, you're gonna kind of want to make a decision based on that. So I guess what I mean by that is, like, if you have, let's just keep it simple and have two different sort of product intro products for two pretty different audiences, right? So you're gonna have two very different flows. Then you probably are going to want to break it down into sort of the more complicated exclusion, and basically set up your full flow and the exclusions and middle funnel for this one intro product and any upsells you might have for that. And then obviously set, for the second sort of audience, set that up separately. But when it comes to like most e-commerce businesses, you have a lot of products within that same sort of ecosystem and universe, right? Like you're in fashion and clothing, or you've got jewelry. So there's a lot of overlap within the audiences that you're selling different products to, and you don't necessarily need to go complicated so much with that sort of more basic e-commerce setup. And what you can really do is kind of focus on your best sellers in that top of funnel, in those cold traffic campaigns, so that it's simpler to kind of figure out what verbiage people are responding to, and simpler on the systems for kind of selling our one or two intro products to our cold traffic. And then, as Q mentioned, really kind of stack the middle funnel with the upsells and the other products, middle and bottom of funnel, so that we're kind of feeding the system with our best sellers, right? And then all we have to do is retarget the people that have seen those and didn't buy with other possible options, or those options again in the middle funnel, and then the bottom funnel would be used to upsell with new products. So just kind of, you just have to think about it in terms of your customer journey, within your business, and what really makes sense in terms of, okay, if somebody came in and bought this, what might be the next best product to show them. And then you can really kind of figure out where you need to be doing exclusions. And like I said, if your audience, you kind of have the same audience for all your products, don't complicate this too much, and just utilize the middle and bottom funnel retargeting to sell more products than you do in the top of funnel cold traffic campaigns.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So that's actually a strategy that we've rolled out with a client of ours who, um, I'll say this, like, also, this is a great strategy if you are a little bit more budget conscious. Um, if you have 10 different products and you go out and you find a clear winner for your top of funnel, it just converts the best, it gets you the best ROI, and it brings in the most people, and you're having luck scaling that. And you're testing all your other products and they're just not doing as well, and they're really hurting your budget in terms of, like, how much you can scale this other product, because you're now kind of wasting all this money, right? What you can do is just focus on that product, put the money into that product, and then sell the rest of your products in the mid and bottom. And we rolled that out with a client of ours. Again, her products were all very similar too, and like lend themselves well to that initial top of funnel. But that's in the mid funnel is where she sells the majority of her other products. She's starting to, now that her systems are working so well, she's starting to launch other top of funnel campaigns to bring in kind of new audience to feed those new products. But that's just a great way to look at it in the beginning. And that, this is sort of our battle cry that we've talked about, since the beginning, is like, find that one thing to attract people. And, in this case, it would be the top of funnel. And then in your mid funnel, you can even push other things to them, right? So that's a great point. And then, Cole, you also mentioned having two very different products. So that kind of brings me to a conversation or a topic I wanted to bring up too, is that, we have two different funnels for two very different products, and they're hosted on two different domain names. Okay. And when we have that going on, we have to make sure that we're excluding everything from one funnel and this one domain name, and excluding everything on this funnel and this domain name from each other's audiences. And that way, one funnel can reach, into a specific audience and retarget the right amount of people. And everyone goes down that path, and then this funnel, there's no crossover. We definitely need no crossover because there are two different types of audiences that we're attracting.
Yeah,
Uh,
and sorry, just to jump in and kind of
yeah,
expand on the two different audiences. What we mean by that is like one product is focused on organic marketing, so people
yeah,
that don't want to spend money on ads.
right,
And then we have product that is about ads and people that do want to spend money on ads. So they don't have any overlap. Like these people don't want to spend money on ads and they want to try and grow their business organically. These people want to grow quickly and spend ads. So we have like it doesn't make sense for us to overlap. So we have to set up those exclusions just
right.
to just to expand
Right.
on.
And then, to that point, the people who want to do organic are a lot earlier on in their business and have a lot less experience. And so, um, getting them to buy something in relation to ads from us is actually sort of detrimental because the chances are they won't understand it that well. They won't have much success with it because they haven't been, in that world enough for at least the products that we're selling. So, we definitely want to keep them separated. And so, within our custom audiences, we basically break it down to where we have our overall pixel, and our pixel has custom audiences for purchases, add to carts, initiate checkouts, and engagement, and a few other things. But then we have um, custom audiences for our pixel specifically for each web page that we have too, that have those same purchases, initiate checkouts, add to carts, web traffic. And that way we're able to create all these custom audiences that we can then in our campaigns easily exclude from everything that we're doing or where we need to exclude them. And this is a great example right here. So let's say with Instagram engagement, right? If we're using the same page and we're advertising two different products, and our mid funnel then advertises to Instagram engagers, then there's going to be that crossover. So we need to create custom audiences to exclude those from each other. So um, these are just things to be aware of, and it can get a little techy and complicated. And I know some people in this group are already doing more advanced stuff like this and going down those paths. And if you're comfortable with the more advanced stuff and creating those exclusions and really understanding like that every campaign you got to go through and with a fine tooth comb, is that the expression, and look at everything that you're excluding and making sure that that's set up properly. Like I know I have a problem sometimes seeing my own mistakes. So when I set up campaigns, I get super nervous because I'm like, did I exclude everything perfectly? Right. But when it is dialed in, it can work like incredibly well because you know exactly what you want to target and retarget and exclude. Right. However, on the flip side, like we were just talking about, you can do things to alleviate some stress in that area and then also get better results. So I think kind of to like wrap this up, the main points are, if you have a bunch of products, yes, you can create top, middle, and bottom of funnels exclusively for each product, and that can be very powerful and effective, and it's definitely worth testing. But you can also create a mid funnel and bottom funnel that includes, all the products from your top of funnel, your multiple top of funnel campaigns. And then on top of that, you can also say, you know what, I'm going to go with one top of funnel campaign or one top of funnel product that really rakes in all of my ideal customers. And then in your mid and bottom of funnel, offer them other um, products and services and see how those convert in the mid funnel and bottom funnel.
Yeah, I think last point I want to make is just sort of a good middle ground in terms of, you know, being able to exclude and create sort of these funnels within Facebook for different products and audiences. But still not creating too much work for yourself and having that be too hard is another thing you can do is kind of group your products in terms of what makes sense as sort of next sales for certain purchases. So like for instance, if you have like a jewelry store and for like whatever reason an audience really likes to buy your necklaces but they don't really care about your bracelets, let's just say, then maybe your necklaces are all sort of one grouping and we have exclusions to sell more different necklaces to those audiences, and then the bracelets are their own sort of ecosystem of products that we have as this other exclusion. So it's not just kind of one product for each, but more of like, okay, this section of our products is going to go into this funnel full of exclusions, and this section would be here, so that we have an idea of kind of who's buying what and who we can sell more to. So there's lots of different options, I guess is what we're trying to say here, and you kind of have to find that ground of like, okay, how much can I do, and how much does it make sense to exclude with the products that I have and with my sort of customer journeys, and what they want to buy from me.
Yeah. One of our media buyers here does mid funnels that are like extremely complex and goes into a whole different method than I do. And both of them work very well. But, he just gets more on that complex level. So, yeah, to your point, Cole, there are multiple ways to do things, but it's really about understanding the system at its core and, understanding the concepts of the top, middle, and bottom. And then when you get comfortable with that, that's when you're kind of able to say like, oh, okay, well, it makes sense to exclude here, include here, or I'm going to test a little bit more broader approach in the mid funnel or bottom of funnel, or maybe I'll combine the mid and bottom of funnel to see if I can get a better result there. And then as you start to do more and more of it, you start to experiment a little bit more and start finding out what systems can kind of like work the best for you and your situation. So
Yeah, cool.
cool. All right, guys. Well, we will chat with you next time.
See you guys.